Hello everyone, welcome to our new webinar dedicated to robotic process automations and how we could help you to stop wasting money, or how RPA could help you stop wasting money. Thank you for joining. We are really lucky today. We have two amazing experts, amazing speakers. Thank you, Thomas. Thank you, Antoine, for joining this session today. They will give you a few words about their experience, about their knowledge in 1 minute, and you will know why it's key to listen to them for the next 60 minutes. Thomas, could you just jump on the first slide to make sure that everything's under control? This is few information for you, dear participants, to make the most of this presentation and to enjoy the maximum this content. This is a 60 minutes webinar maximum. If we have lots of questions, could be 5 minutes more, but we will make it happen for 60 minutes. And we just engage you to use Google Chrome as browser, because with some others, you can have some difficulties. So if you're not on Google Chrome right now, do not hesitate to copy paste the link and refresh the page, all right? So it will be much better for you to enjoy this presentation. Second slide, just to let you know how to use the chat and how to communicate with our expert. We prepared you, for example, on the top right of your screen, there is a little chat, okay? And you can ask all your questions to Antoine and Thomas. This is really the concept. This event is made for you. So please ask questions. Do not hesitate to comment. I know that Thomas prepared you a little, some questions for the mid of this presentation. So please interact with us. This is the best moment to know everything about RPA and our experience and expertise. Also, as you can see, there is a little polls, chat polls. You can click on that also. There are a few questions. It will help us also to give you some feedback during the presentation. So Thomas will let you aware about this in a few minutes during the presentation. So concretely, we wish you all the best. Make the most of this nice content. I come back for the Q&A sessions, and Thomas, I give you the floor. See you.
Thank you, Pierre, for the introduction. So we will first introduce ourselves. So my name is Thomas. I have more than 20 years experience, 23 years experience in the SAP world. I've been always busy with new technologies, innovation technologies. Today we are talking about RPA, which is a nice example of that. Inside SOA People, I'm responsible for innovation, which covers, let's say, the two main topics of our customers' life, which is the question about S4HANA, when to go, how to go, which version and flavor and all that, and the business technology platform, which is like this big platform SAP offers, and of course RPA is part of that. And apart from that, I'm busy on the whole community. I'm an SAP mentor, so one of those 50-60 people selected globally by SAP, and I'm also busy in the FNSK as the chairman of the user experience focus group.
Hello everyone, my name is Antoine. I work in SOA People with our platform Performer for SAP, which I'm going to show you just after this introduction. I'm a customer success and project manager. I'm based in Switzerland, and I work with our platform as a value engineer. So I'm going to analyze the data and propose you action plans. But you will more understand clearly just after, when I'm going to explain you and present you our platform. And I'm glad to be here. Don't hesitate to ask us questions.
Very good. So the agenda we prepared for today is actually very simple. We will start with the introduction to SOA People, just one slide, very briefly. Then I will go into robotic process automation, introduce you the topic and the key things you should know about RPA. Then Antoine will guide you through the value management aspect of RPA with some giving concrete examples and a live demo. So that is something very interesting for this webinar. And then, of course, we will have enough time left for Q&A. So with that, let's jump into that. I mentioned one slide just about us. For some of you don't know yet our company. So SOA People is dedicated to SAP. That's the only thing we do. We do SAP, and we are a leading European partner, a platinum partner of SAP. We have 14 regional offices in France, Benelux, Germany, Switzerland, and we are on an extension strategy. And we serve more than 900 customers. I think it's even higher now. And around 600 experts, all dedicated to SAP, different aspects of SAP. So let's talk about RPA. Here is this handsome robot waving to us as a welcome. Of course, we talk about robots, but not these kind of robots. To be honest, these are just really illustrations, just funny pictures. What we are talking about here is really software robots, which don't look this nice, but they really have a big impact on the business because they can accelerate the digital transformation of your processes by actually automating some of the boring, tedious actions. So some of the tasks which are done now by colleagues, by people, can be executed by these RPA bots in an automatic way. So that of course is very promising. So what are the typical use cases? What can you really automate with RPA? So there are two main categories. One is tedious processes. So things which are maybe not exciting for the actual people who perform them. They are needed, so they create value for the company, but the steps themselves are boring. They don't really require the expertise of the employees. They just have to be done. So things like, you visit a website, you copy some information, you put it in an Excel, you send it in an email, somebody else gets it out of the email, copies it into some other system, and then it's useful in the end. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. But all these steps are tedious, and actually we are wasting the time and the talent of people by doing these simple things. And of course, now with RPA, you can give this kind of task to a robot. They will do it faster, better, without errors. They will not get tired or unmotivated. And then the people can actually focus on something a lot more meaningful, which really uses their talent. So that's one part, the tedious tasks, tedious processes, and the other parts are the hidden tasks. So something which maybe you are not even aware of, but it's happening. Maybe even in your own work you are not aware of because you just so got used to it that to do certain things you have to click here, click there, and you don't have to think that much about it. But all these hidden tasks can add up a lot. If you look into an organization, if everybody does some minutes of hidden task daily, then it's a huge waste of money for the complete organization. And these can be done really in all processes. So in SAP, of course, we talk about order to cash, purchase to pay, hire to retire, and all these big processes. Actually, it can be applied everywhere. And it's not only that it can be applied, but SAP already applied them. So solutions, concrete RPA bots are available in almost all of these processes. Dozens of standard out-of-box ready-to-use bots are available. You have access to the source code, so to speak. So it's a kind of a template which you can modify and make it specific to your situation. But then we are talking about automation of processes, and then we are saying that, okay, RPA is really good in that, but to be honest, RPA is not the only option. I mean, automation is something we have been doing for decades. So what's really new? There are many ways to automate processes. You can have a workflow engine. You can build a new app, with Fiori or whatever technology. There are many ways, or you can have a middleware, like maybe cloud platform integration nowadays. There are different solutions for automation. So when is RPA the right one? Now, as I mentioned, RPA is really good in automating manual and repetitive. No, if it's not repetitive, it's each time the same, then you are not ready to automate. High volume helps because that helps for the business case. If it's just done once in a year, then maybe it's not worth the effort to automate it. But these are actually still true for other technologies as well. Where RPA really stands out is integrating processes or automating processes which cross multiple systems. Multiple systems is always a challenge because maybe you have a technology in one system, another technology in another one, another in another one. So, okay, if your process crosses all these, then how do you automate that? And RPA is really strong in that. So the example I gave that you go to a website and the email and then maybe a Fiori screen and then Excel. And if all of these things are needed in your process, then RPA is really good in handling all of that. And also, somewhere RPA is very good when you have no native integration. So if those tools don't offer interfaces, they don't offer APIs, then other technologies actually stop. But RTA continues, and RTA doesn't need these well-defined interfaces, and it can be still automate your processes. So that's really strong in RPA. But is it just a nice trendy topic which nowadays everybody's talking about? We believe not, and we believe that RPA actually goes back to a long time ago. Sorry, even you could say that already from the beginning of the 20th century, company had a very big focus on automating processes. Of course, at that time it was more in an industry context where products had to be mass manufactured, and then it was all about automating factory processes. And humans started to work with physical robots, like what you see on the picture. But nowadays, what you see, that there is this generic trend to value-added services, of course, next to product manufacturing. And then we are talking about more people working in service tasks, and those service tasks can also be automated, but then we are only talking about software robots who enhance, facilitate the work of the people. The goal is not to replace the people. The goal is to let the tedious, boring tasks done by the robot and the humans do, for example, the customer-facing added value aspects. And especially, let's say this year, with all the pandemic, there is another driver for RPA, which is, we all work remotely and there is a big pressure on cost reduction. So companies are even more interested in such technologies which can really improve in a proven way. So let me give you a few examples because maybe it was too abstract so far. So shared service automation. No, shared service means that the service is already shared, so there is already some repetitive aspect there, and then RPA can make sure that you execute faster, you make less errors, you optimize your processes, and so on. So any type of shared service is always a kind of a first guess for a application of RPA. Financials. No, in finance, there is always a lot of data to move around. There is always a lot of processing of data. For example, financial closing. There you can gain some serious efficiency. Customer service. That's a very popular scenario. Imagine that there is an agent, and the agent is talking to the customer. If we can make the life of the agent easier by combining information, looking up information, making some processing automated, then it means that the agent can actually pay more attention to the customer, give a better service, be closer to the customer, create more intimacy. And the whole clicking and doing things in various systems, which is usually the case in customer service, that can go away with RPA. Operational automation, generally, manual task, monitoring of systems is a good one. And yeah, generally any type of data management, no? Because when you have data to manage, then you always have some information silos. You always have to move data from A to B, from B to C, but in between those things with that data. And yeah, there is always a lot of opportunity there for RPA. So what are the benefits of RPA projects? I think it's already clear from what I explained that it's all about increased productivity. So is to free up resources so that they can do higher valuable tasks. It's about cost reduction. So if something took maybe 10 minutes to do manually, and now the robot can do it in 30 seconds. You can calculate it. It's a very simple calculation, how many times this is executed, each time how many minutes it saves, and then you already have a very clear business case, and a lot can be achieved, a lot can be saved there. Customer satisfaction, I mentioned that with the examples. And in the end, with all these process automation, you even achieve more transparency in the execution and the control of your processes. And then, of course, accuracy also goes up because human errors can be eliminated. So it's clear that RPA is a very good option to improve your processes and actually get more out of your SAP system. Now, we work with SAP customers which invested a lot in their SAP systems, and it's always a question how to get more out of that system. So RPA is a really good tool, but the topic of how to get more out is a very interesting aspect, because that's, I would say, the number one challenge of any SAP customer, and it's not even SAP specific, to be honest. No, I mean it's any ERP or enterprise software has the same. How to show the value of the system and how to get more value out of that system. So we always hear the same questions at our customers. Number one question we hear that, yeah, we run on SAP, but we are really not sure that it delivered all the benefits what we expected. We hear that a lot. So I'm actually curious how you see that. And for that, we prepared a poll, as Pierre already mentioned it in the beginning. So if you, in the upper right corner of your screen, you see chat and polls. So if you click on polls, I would be curious on your opinion on that. And what you see here is various questions. I will go through them, and you see yes or no. And basically what we are asking you is not to answer the question, it's more to think that, is this question relevant for you? Do you hear this question in your organization? Do you have this open question in your mind as well? So look at those questions from that perspective. No, so they are difficult questions. The goal is not to answer them, just to say, do you have that question or not? So feel free to go to the polls and submit your vote. And I'm curious if you see the same as what we hear at our customers. So I give you a few seconds. All right, so I see many of you say yes, which means that you recognize this question. But this is not the only one. There are more questions. Like what I also see that you recognize is that the user themselves maybe not making best of SAP. So the system probably has more capabilities than what you actually are aware of. Then how can you actually assess the real business value of S/4HANA? And this is a topic, as I mentioned, no, it's very relevant. No, SAP gives us or the whole world few more years to move to S/4HANA. There is a deadline, end of maintenance. But apart from the pressure SAP gives, what is actually the business case for it? Big question. Then, apart from S4, generally speaking, you can do all kinds of projects in your organizations, but which are the ones which give you the best return on investment? How do you know without measuring? And okay, you had some idea about the business benefits, but did you actually realize them? Did you make that happen? So these are really big questions, and what we have is something very special. You already see the logo on the slide, Performer for SAP. So that's a solution which is established on the market for several years. As SOA People, we acquired it last year. So now it's part of our portfolio. And this is really a unique tool on the market to assess value and manage value. So it's a platform which analyzes the data in your SAP backend system, and based on facts, because the data in your SAP system is really the full mirror of your business, that based on those facts, it is able to assess your status as of today, how well you perform, and that, of course, in comparison to industry peers. It can identify improvement opportunities for you. It can tell you the return on investment on these opportunities. So in the end, it helps you to decide where to invest and show what value you can get out of your investment. And you can track this whole thing continuously. So that was just very briefly. And now I would like to give the word to Antoine, who is, of course, our expert on this topic. And then he will explain it in more details and show it live.
Thank you, Thomas. I would just like you to interpret maybe, I mean, that's what you did already, but the answer of the polls, we are really lucky. Our participants interact and answered a lot. I think that this is key also, what you shared with us in terms of, could you just give you few feedbacks about those answers, Thomas?
Yeah. So I mean, what I see from the answers that people do realize that these are the big questions, and to be honest, it's no surprise. I mean, SAP is a big investment. It's many companies. It's the central investment in their IT portfolio, and for example, going to S/4HANA, it's really a big major commitment. No, so companies take months, sometimes years, to prepare it. And they go with some expectations about the value they can create, but a lot of times what I see that these are very vague expectations, probably based on some slides, some rumors on the market, but as a business manager, I don't think you feel comfortable with these. You really need facts, and those facts should be based on your business. So I see the recognition of that, and in the end, yeah, what is more important for your business than to be really aware of what you are doing and why, and then actually prove the value of that.
Thanks, Tamas, for that. Indeed, I think that this is some feedback we've got from our clients. It's always difficult also to identify what is the best project to take in considerations, where to start. In fact, when you've got a project on SAP or a project that will bring the maximum of value. This is the idea also behind, I will say, how could we make sure that we put the money at the right place, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah. So I believe that some answer from on the pool are really good in this way. I mean, just to identify to how could we help to identify this source of benefits and which project would be the best, I would say. And I think that Antoine will give you some answer to help you on this topic. Antoine, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Pierre. At least I will try. So right now, let's talk about our tool, our platform performer for SAP. We do what we call the value management approach, value management process. And what are the steps in our work? So the first one is really the value assessment. So what do? In fact, we analyze your data from the past, and we try to learn from your past, from your data, what happened, and how can we prioritize the investment in alignment with your company's strategy to optimize your business processes, your security, or implement a new project, or so on. That's the first step, to learn from your past. Learning from this past will help us to go to the second step, which is the strategy planning. And we will try to make the best investment decision from you. With what base? In fact, it's with your data, and then it's going to be with the expected benefits of the project the platform propose you once it's fully customizable by you, and then it really helps you to see, okay, I have currently 3 projects I can start. Which one will be the best for us in terms of money I have to put in, or invest of return on investment this project will gives us, and it's really can help you to make your strategy planning about the projects you have to put in place. And this moves on the third part, which is the benefits realization management. In this part, in fact, we starting from this base, we go around in the virtuous loop of this project by driving value from your project. So we make sure that the project you put in place gives you the really expected benefits that were set up in the beginning, and we help you find new projects or new goals that have to be achieved by you, and we really enter in this virtuous loop. Our platform, we have the basis program of our platform, the digital core, and the content will be in four parts. The first one, you will have information about your basis, meaning your technical performance or availability, and your technical and functional administration. We have a second part, which will be the topic from today. It's your business processes. So we analyze your processes, and we are going to see if you have digitalization opportunities. We focus on manual to digital optimization, like dematerialization, it's hard to say, RPA, or some other kind of things. We have a third part, which is the technical security. So we are going to analyze the user management and your cybersecurity, just to make sure that your SAP system is technically safe. And we have a fourth part, which is the time to market. So how fast you can move and innovate with the change in SAP or in your business, in your world. So we look at your custom code, your testing phases, and the adherence to the core model of SAP. More technically, how Performer works. So we use a fully SAP standard agent that we connect in your SAP system, and we are going to extract function modules and SAP tables. Why we take SAP tables? It's in order for us to get also your custom code. We don't extract transaction because we would not be able to extract every specific and customized transaction. So we extract tables in order to get also your custom transaction. With this extraction of the data, we make key performance indicator calculation with scores, with benchmark, with other extraction we do with other client. And we run the predict engine and our value to learn about your data, in fact, to be able to propose you a project and investment to optimize your business. So based from your data and the results of your KPIs, the platform will propose you, for example, here, an investment portfolio of, here it's 3 projects regarding your processes, order to cash, procure to pay, or account to report. And here it's an implementation of the topic of today, so RPA. And with your data, the platform proposes you alone this kind of project. And you can then, based on that, build some business case. And with our new tool on the platform, which is called Time Machine, you see on the right part of the screen, you can track monthly your data to see if it attain the identified benefits, and you can track the value, and you can track the optimization of your business. So that's where for the technical demonstration. Right now, the best demo is a demonstration. So I will jump on our platform. So this is a Performer for SAP. So when we are connected to your data, we will extract and obtain key performance indicators. And I will just show you how the indicators are ranked. We have 3 types of indicators. We have indicators of volume. So it's just a number. For example, here it's the volume of sales order. All these data is taken from a database from SAP standard, for example. We have KPIs in amount, volume, amount, and percentage. So these are the 3 types of KPI we have. And with all this information, what we're going to do, we are going to give you process dashboard. So we are going to get the main KPIs needed to build with you a process dashboard that resume all the information we need. So for example, if we look here at all the robotic process opportunities, so based on the KPI, so that are based on your data, the platform will extract and put the main one here in the process in order for us to make a statement, a value assessment of, okay, what is exactly the current situation of my business. Why exactly? Because these data, these results are based from your data, your SAP tables. And as my colleague Thomas just said before, RPA is good with manual and repetitive tasks, a task where it involves lead times or errors and manual intervention. So here the platforms take information about lead time, as you can see here, as manual modifications and so on. So here, the first remark we can do a rough analysis here on the data is we see that there is a big lead time between the accounting of the sales invoice and the payment. 52 days, it's a lot. Between the goods issued and the sales invoice issued, also it's a big lead time. We have quite a number of manually modified sales with the price involved. We have some incomplete, some return process with error. So with this information, we can really see that, okay, the RPI focus on tasks that are repetitive or manual or that involves delays. Here we typically have information about, okay, I think maybe RPA in this kind of area would be really interesting for me. So based...
And Antoine, if I may add
Yes.
to this, to me, this is the core of everything, because RPA is a good technology. There is not that much doubt about that. But what companies find it difficult to actually find the cases. And why? Because many of them are hidden, as I mentioned. No? So those are small steps which people do here, and maybe they are not even very conscious, and on the management level, nobody even knows about those steps. But they take time, they take waste the energy of the organization. And now, with this, what Antoine is showing, this comes to the surface automatically. So this is a really, really fantastic value. That was all. Sorry, I just wanted to add, because when I talk to customers, this is the part they love.
Yeah, that's really important. Thank you for your feedback. Based on this information, the platform itself will propose you action plans. Here we can find back our action plan recommended by the platform. And if we open the action plan, so the platform resumed all information about an implementation of a bot for a lot of kind of activities. And you can see here, when we go on the implementation, you have all information about the bot, about the task the bot is going to do. The platform gives you also information about duration and the cost that will happen for you to implement this project. And we have here the best part is the earnings and the project benefits that you will get for implementing this kind of project. And all these activities are resumed in one tab here. So if I open it, I will have two types here of gains. The first one is the quality type of gains. So here I have the same KPI as I showed you before, and it will show how much these KPIs are going to improve after implementing the project I selected. So here we just found back the lead time I showed you before, or the manually modified sales order lines is the evolution that is here noted. And the quite important part is here you will have all the potential savings related to these KPIs and related to the implementation of the RPA activities. So it's
we lost Antoine, but no big deal. This is the good moment also to let you understand that we use concrete figures and we provide, with performer, concrete figures, concrete informations to take your decisions. So have you seen, and this is in France Suisse, because our friend Antoine is in Switzerland, but the idea behind is this: we use KPIs from companies that we are working with, your own also informations, data, so to have a concrete view on your system and how we could improve the system. This is exactly what Thomas said before. We use all those data, in fact, to build the best case for you to improve your system and to make the most of your SAP system. So this is the idea behind, and this is how RPA help also to identify those source of benefits, I would say. And indeed, after that, I think that you understand perfectly how to build your business case with that, because when you need to discuss with your manager, with your CFO to get money for your project, it will clearly identify what kind of gain you can do in the time, with a clear roadmap. This is the idea behind, isn't it, Thomas?
Yeah, I fully agree. And maybe while Antoine gets back his internet somehow, I can pick up from here where we started, where we stopped. So I know don't have the system itself. These are only slides, but you will see exactly the same. So Antoine was explaining about the examples, some of RPA initiatives identified by performer. Then he was showing that you can get the concrete financial drivers and the potential savings. And the next is that you make some simple assumptions, which are needed to make the financial calculations complete. So, for example, here you see how many times you executed, and then how often, and the time spent on each single item. So these are simple choices you can make in the system. And then, in the end, where you get is a full business case. And this is now for RPA, but by the way, performer is for any type of project. So even very complex one like moving to S4HANA, or even maybe one concrete process automation with RPA. And you have a full visibility from a financial point of view. You have a plan for the coming 5 years. Based on that, you can calculate the main KPIs which business people are looking at. So what is the payback time, and what is the indicator, let's say the quality of the project, even a cumulative net cash flow. So completely in financial and business terms, the expected benefit. And as I mentioned, it's not just some kind of vague forecast, but the platform allows you to keep measuring. Antoine was talking about the time machine, so it helps you to measure the performance month by month and see how you track your progress on this initial plan.
Indeed, Damas, I think that this is really key what you're saying right now, because in fact, this is not only a picture, a photography, or the situation at D-Day or tea time, I would say. You've got the picture, indeed, where you can improve, where you need to invest, when you can invest to improve your performance. But the idea also about this solution is it will help also to improve. This is the cycle that Antoine shared with you just before. That's nice to identify where you can improve, but the best way to proceed is just to make sure, okay, we did the modifications, this is what we brought to us, this is what we gain from that, and what's next. And this is a continuous improvement. This is really key in performer.
Indeed.
And I think that this is, Thomas, something really interesting. This when we were talking about business case, and this is what we said, it's always difficult to convince our manager to to make a project, I would say, a SAP project. Everybody knows how much SAP costs up to the company to put it in place. I mean, we know the benefits, but we know that it costs lots of money. So to convince people to participate or to put money in a project, this is really a base that really help everyone to build this business case.
Yeah.
So this is the idea behind.
Yeah, and specifically about RPA. I mean, you can read some industry analysts or technology analysts who explain that 70% of RPA projects don't go beyond a proof of concept. Why? Because yes, it's easy to show nice technology, but the value is not clear and not clear to demonstrate, and that's exactly what we do here.
Welcome back, Antoine. This is les aléas du direct, as we said. But I think that we cover your parts with Tamas, and I think that our participants, if they need to see the tool, even a deep dive in the tool, if they want to see what's in the motor, you'll be available too. Yeah, I think that this is the concept. So
yeah,
I give you yeah.
Yeah, sorry, I was just about to say that Antoine actually almost finished his part, so I only just had to do the final steps.
Okay, yeah, I didn't know where I lost you, so
no problem.
Tamas, the floor is yours.
We can smoothly continue from here. So to look back, some key takeaways, and I must say these key takeaways, some of them are from our experience, and we didn't talk about all of these things in this webinar, so it's important, I think, to share. Okay, I think we said enough. It's all about focusing on the value. The technical aspects are actually easier to control in RPA projects. Important to involve all potential stakeholders, not only IT. No, that's the point which we are making here. Of course, we need IT. Of course, the technology has to be mastered, but it's not about that. Otherwise, you will be in the 70%, which I mentioned, which does a very nice proof of concept and then never really goes beyond that. Important is to start small. It is possible with RPA, even the licensing model of SAP, even the platform, there is trial. So there are really ways where you can minimize the setup and start learning. Important is to get feedback. So iteration, agile is a good practice here to share what worked and then get feedback and then go like that in the organization. I mentioned, actually, there is no real need to do proof of concept. I would go with the way Antoine demonstrated today, identify the best value aspect and immediately go for that. You don't need to come with some kind of fictional process to see. You can directly hit the main priorities. Of course, at some point, you need to decide which RPA tool to assume. We didn't really talk about that today. Obviously, for SAP customers, the SAP tooling, so the intelligent RPA is maybe the obvious choice. But there are other options on the market. I think SAP, of course, has some clear benefit for SAP customers. And then you can go smart, and the smart is exactly the approach Antoine explained. And then with all that, you can really be effective, meaning like not just really look at what is already painful and then it's visible, but really identify the gain areas thanks to a performer. So to sum it up, the value, and this is really the end of our story. What we propose helps you to make fact-based, objective analysis of your situation. So a lot of times when we do this, even business leaders are surprised because nobody knows all aspects of their business, and now it just simply comes to the surface in terms of I had more than 2,500 KPIs. You can compare with peers, which is always interesting. That's the context for your comparison. And now this is the KPIs which I mentioned. So they are all there. They are predefined, can be customized, by the way, to have a really concrete scan of your business. Then in the end, you can create the business benefits and the financial return on investment calculation. So then in the end, you can combine the qualitative and quantitative value drivers. No? A lot of times you only have qualitative ones, that things will get better, things will get faster, and it will be more efficient. But now you will have all the quantitative weapons also in your hands. And important, the cycle aspect. No, what we mentioned, that it has to be a sustainable approach. It's not a one-off exercise, but it's a continuous cycle of improvement, which you can realize. And with that, we finished our story. So I'm curious to see what questions we have in the chat.
Yes, thank you, Tamas. Thank you, Anton. We already have one question for you, you guys. What is the difference between you and some other solution on the market, some other best of breed on the market? Who would like to answer these first questions?
And let me start, and of course, Antoine, feel free to jump in. So in terms of RPA, we believe in the SAP RPA because, as I said, it's one of the best solutions on the market, and specifically for SAP customers, there are some clear benefits. That's about technology, and more about the value aspect. To be honest, as I mentioned, the Performer is really unique on the market in this offering. SAP itself has some tools which cover some aspects, but these tools are specific silos without integration of the tools. So yeah, even SAP can confirm that what he offered, this end-to-end value cycle, is a vision SAP has, and then the reality we can offer. So yeah, in that week we are very comfortable to say that actually there is nothing like this on the market.
Thank you, Tamas, for this answer. First, other question from Dirk. As you mentioned, it's important to put the value in the right project. How can I convince my director to invest in your solution? Antoine, Tamas?
Yeah, I can start, and as before, Tamas can also answer it. How can I convince my director? In fact, we just explained before, the power of this tool is that it show you, yes, you have to implement this kind of project. Yes, it will cost you this amount of money or time, but more importantly, what is going to be improved in your solution, and how much you will save or gain by implementing this kind of project. And sometimes it's hard to convince your director because you don't have the key numbers, you don't have the little thing in the end to really have the power when you speak about your project. You don't have every tools, and we are with Performer, you will have the whole chain in why you have to implement this project, because you will obtain first why is your process, in fact, where do I have my pain point, and how can these pain points be solved, and so what am I going to win at the end by implementing and by correcting these pain points?
Okay, thanks, Antoine. Tamas, would you like to add something?
No, I think that's I fully agree.
But I really, I mean, Antoine, this is what you shared also. It is not only a business, I mean, an impact on finance, there is also an impact of people. And that's what you share. One of your screen was, okay, what is the impact of the charge of work for my teams, and how we could improve also the way they work, just to dedicate them on high value actions or high value tasks. I mean, I think that this is also something really valuable in terms of business case, to build the business case. We also take in consideration the human part of the business, and how we can help them to make their job even better, isn't it?
Yeah, you're fully right. Yeah.
Thanks for that. So any other question? This is a good moment. We have a few more minutes if you like to. I see that someone stays tipping some, maybe a last questions. You understand also that Antoine, Tamas, all our team are here with you just to make you succeed and to help you make the most of your SAP system. So do not hesitate. You see the contact of Tamas, the contact of Antoine. If you have any further questions or interrogation, feel free to come back to us for sure. And also, you will receive in the thank you mail in a few minutes the replay on the slides. Do not hesitate for sure to share it with anyone who could be interested in your network and with your colleagues. It's always nice to share value content to your network. Dirk, I don't know if last one. Thank you. The human aspect. Yeah. What is your experience about the end user responsiveness with this kind of projects? Maybe it could be a nice one to conclude. Tamas, Antoine, would you like to answer this one?
Yeah, so that's a really, really good question. Because of course, the media is full of really scary stories about how robots will replace humans, and then there will be the end of the world, and we will all lose our jobs, and that kind of images about automation and robots. Now, the reality here, as of in the foreseeable future, obviously I cannot tell the future, but what we see at least for the coming years, that these robots are obviously not able to replace anyone here. These software RPA robots not at all, but they are able to make our daily lives easier. So in the end, it is helping the people, and the difficult tasks which we have, the creative, more communicative, more innovative tasks, as of today and in the foreseeable future, these robots are not able to take over, but they are able to do the simple, boring, repetitive ones. So in the end, it makes people happy that they can free themselves from these, and they can do some more interesting work. So yeah, it's a journey. It starts usually with some skepticism, and finishes with the happy, satisfied users. But it takes some time to appreciate it.
Tamas, that makes me really happy that you're finishing with this positive note, because indeed we don't need to be afraid about the future. RPA is here to make our life easier, and also to make the most of the brain or the experience, the expertise of our colleagues, I would say, and let them focus on really high-value tasks. I think that this is a positive way of working in the next future, thanks to RPA. So thank you, Tamas, for this nice conclusion. Dear participants, I hope that we meet your expectations and that we answer your questions. Do not hesitate indeed to contact us, to contact our experts. We'll be really more than happy to help you succeed in your actual challenges. Tamas, Antoine, thank you for these nice presentations, and we wish you a nice afternoon. See you soon.
Thanks for joining. Bye-bye.